HISD, of course, the largest school district in the state, and of course making headlines today for other reasons, was once the slowest in the nation to integrate its schools.
Leading the charge for change was a woman, a teacher who championed for equal rights. I researched and revisited her interviews from deep within our video archives to bring you her story for the start of this Women's History Month.
Houston's population in 1900, 45,000. Today, 1,400,000.
1964 Houston was just coming into its own. A progressive metropolitan city with aerospace, arts, and architecture raising its profile and its skyline.
It's now the tallest building west of the Mississippi.
A desirable place to live, work, and play for both whites and blacks. Still, this was the 60s, and for all Houston had going for it, it seriously lacked an equal education.
How are the schools here?
Well, I might be stepping on someone's toes, but the schools are still backwards.
Houston was incredibly slow to integrate schools, despite Brown versus the Board of Education, the 1954 Supreme Court case which found racial segregation of children in public schools unconstitutional. 10 years later, in Houston, not much had happened. Acutely aware of it and advocating for change was Hattie Mae White, a teacher who became the first African American elected to the HISD school board in 1958.
So you have a total of how many Negro children going to school with whites?
About 250 in 10 previously all-white schools.
That's out of a total school population of what?
Of 211,000.
Well, that wouldn't seem to indicate that integration has progressed very rapidly in the schools.
This is perhaps the greatest sore spot in the city of Houston.
Mrs. White spoke frankly. Despite the racist backlash, she remained steadfast on the school board during this difficult time, met with constant resistance. There were multiple lawsuits and legal interventions to move integration along.
The Houston School Board seems to put forth every effort they can to keep the status quo.
By 1968, the Department of Justice declared the district's desegregation efforts were lagging and unjust. New efforts were made, new schools, new plans, and more involvement from the federal government.
This is not the first time we have had differences of opinion with the Justice Department. I doubt if it will be the last.
It took HISD decades to fully desegregate its schools. Hattie Mae White spent 3 terms on the HISD school board before losing a re-election and returning to teaching. Today, her legacy lives on despite her passing in 1993. Here in central northwest Houston is HISD headquarters, also known as the Hattie Mae White Educational Support Center, named to honor the longtime advocate who strived for a truly equal education for everyone. An absolutely amazing woman. And even in retirement, Hattie Mae White remained a community activist, speaking out against unwelcome development and construction of Highway 288 and the Harris County Psychiatric Center in the mostly black Riverside community. It's another compelling interview we happened upon in the archives. For a link to that interview and more, be sure to visit the story on KHRU.com.
Fascinating to see her, talking about the issues back then, and then it explains why we're talking about her now.
Right, that these issues also, sadly, there are still some issues that the school district
linger.
is dealing with, right, that lingers in providing that equal education and an education that all believe in as well, too.
Women's History Month, love it. Thank you for tonight.